That's what you do. You buy these clothes that cost me and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on, with a smile on his face.
You just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray to the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old every single day without the truth. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first two episodes, the second season.
We are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
Hey everyone, and besides anyone, besides Frank Pong, hey, have we? No clickbait here. Been watching some people, fucking hell. They're annoying. Some Irish fucking lads, he comes on, giving fucking every day, 4 times a day or whatever. Giving out the same old spiel. Same lad who was telling everyone that, don't be worried, Jude Bellingham is here. Never mind Madrid. I just can't believe some of them, honestly. So annoying. So fucking annoying. Anyway, I got a message that someone has won this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to check on everything. I've never heard of this fucking person, to be honest. Never heard of him. And remember when I said about, people, like, you might just tune in and see a competition and go, I think I'll join that. And then don't fucking bother with the pod. That's it. Just don't bother. So I'm just checking everything out. See if he's ever been on before. Just the competition. Well, he can fuck off or hear whoever it is. And let them funny names, So anyway, I'm still going to, as I said, put loads of names in, all who I know, by the way, all who I know. And what fucking is on me? What? I don't know what's wrong with it, I don't know what's wrong with you. I wear a fucking baseball cap. So anyway, I'm just going to throw them in the hat and pick one up. That'll be done within the week. And I'll let everyone know who the winner. Well, I'll pull it out. And even if you're not on the pod, if you know what I mean, the night I'm going to do it, and you win it, someone will inform you. I think that's the fairest way I can do it. I'd just like to thank Gap Painting Services for sponsoring the Frank Carlyle show. Great people, everything's there, fully insured lads, fully time served, know what they're doing, they're in and out, leave the job brilliant. Everything about them. Don't struggle trying to paint or decorate or anything. And don't struggle with bloody ladders. Look at me, I can't fucking walk anywhere now. because I fell, didn't I? Pick the fucking ceiling. So get these lads in. Don't struggle. If you're an OAP, I hate saying that though. If you're an elderly person or persons, just get them in. You get a special discount on it. If you're one of our fantastic NHS workers, get them in. You get a special discount. And as I said, they're very reasonable. Even if you're not elderly or you don't work with the NHS, don't struggle. Get them in. Let them do the job. And that's gap patent services. For next season, just go to these lads as well, at Scarf or a Badge. Well, they're not lads, it's just a lovely couple at Scarf or a Badge. Excuse me. So next season, they've got a load of new merchandise. They're only a small business. Please support them. Michelle and Mike, just support them. They're really nice. It's Michelle and Michael D. When you go on the match, that is. You can buy online as well or at scarforabadge.com. And that's it. That's it. Simon. Hiya, Frank. Sad to see the passing of Frederick. Yeah, brilliant, Frederick. Great writer. Most notably, The Day of the Jackal. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Spot on there, mate. Really. Never seek popularity. You can have supremacy or be loved, but never both. What is left or what is felt towards you is 10% genuine disagreement and 90% envy. Great quote. Great quote. What do they say? Envy is the root of all evil and money is the root of all evil. I know some fucking horrible, envious people. Even towards me, for some reason. And I'm talking about people who fucking know me well. You know, they're all like, yeah. All this, you know, great, good at you. As soon as you turn your back, they're fucking like that. Found that out a few times, actually, by people who've just been standing there listening to what was going on, didn't know that they knew me. If you know what I mean. I've been watching in recent transfer markets and it's shocking how the Saudi League is spiralling salaries and fees out of control. The price of ticket replica and I'm sorry. These fucking things. The price of tickets, replica shirts and TV subscription is a joke. That was Simon and Simon again. He's got his work into me. What would be best, Pele? What would Best and Pele think of wages? Some of these guys are being paid. Ronaldo 170 a year and Neymar 85 in the Saudi tax-free, just pure greed. 170 million a year. Just pure greed, and sadly that's how the game is going down. Everything is greed, unfortunately. Escalation of wars is through greed, believe it or not. The military complex are bribing politicians. Did you know that? Bribing politicians, and those horrible politicians who are corrupt as fuck go out and saying, oh yeah, you know, we want wars. We've got to go in and whatever. Stop these tyrants. They're the fucking tyrants who are escalating. Okay, yeah. Best was up there with Pelé, the best players to grace the game, and once said, there are good players, there are great players, and there are those few at the pinnacle. The Pelés, the Cruyffs, the Maradonas. Yep. I've always said Maradona's been the greatest player I've ever seen. The greatest, incredible player. Frank, how are you, lad? I hope you're well, says the Scottish Spirit. Pissed off, to be honest, honestly. Just pissed off. It's one of those things where you're getting clickbaits on everything. And you go on them. You know what they are, you know what they're going to come out with. And you just look at them and go, oh, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Because I just look at these people on anything. You know, it's not just football, it's on everything. You go on it and you go, what's that all about? I think I mentioned this the other night. When I first went on this thing a couple of years ago, whatever it was, not on this, you know, just on that YouTube. And it's had a term that passed away, Robert De Niro. I was fucking shocked. Because I don't watch terrestrial news. Don't watch it. They're a load of garbage. They even give you fucking bad weather, don't they? That doesn't come true. It's going to be sunny and everything tomorrow. Is it? Oh, you're okay. You plan yourself for tomorrow, fucking pissing down all day. Anyway, he wasn't dead. I phoned a mate up. I said, have you heard about De Niro? What I mean? Barry, even if Frank and everyone. Hey, buddy. Smash them likes on the way in. Thank you, Scottish. Thank you so much. Thank you. Johan. Good evening, Frank and legends, says our brother from the Man United club. I was listening to that Mark Goldridge today. It's funny. Well, you know, when Liverpool beat Man U 7-0, it's fucking hilarious. And one of them, he said, we've got, for our foreign viewers, there's a place called Blackpool, and what they have there are donkeys, and he named the back four, that, you know, that Maguire. Things like that. I was laughing my little head off. Give it a laugh. Do you know? Even in Fry, we've seen the movie before 100 times, and we know how it ends. We knew their valuation, and if they are not going to renege, in brackets, their prerogative, yeah, either pay it or walk away. We've seen it all before. Hello, Frank and chat, says George said. Hey, George. Cara mia Toscana. Buonasera, Franco. Buonasera, Toscana. Hi, everyone. Toscana. Frank. Scottish Spirit. If my name comes out your draw, give the prize to Anfield Raw. I love that lad. He makes me laugh. He's supposed to come down to see me at the weekend. But we can't get in touch with one another. If he was on Facebook, he could send me a message. I don't use Facebook, to be honest. Not much anyway. Not much. I got hacked early last year. And I had a load of friends, lovely people, and I lost a fucking lot of them because this particular person who hacked me, I know where he comes from, and it's not this country. And he was asking for money, pretending to be me. Never asked for fucking anything in my life. And Facebook banned me. So I had to go under another name. I was trying to get back. I said, it's not me, look at my record. I don't give a fuck. So anyway, I went to, Jason got me under another name. So I hardly use it now. I'm terrified to have friends, because I know the names in case it's an hacker, because that's how they get you. Fucking horrible people. I'll do that out there, Scottish. Do that the bear. Definitely. It's what you want, lad. I'll do that. Give it right soon. I'm free as well. He is mad, him and his wife. Evening to one and all on Mr. C's electronic copy. That's good, isn't it? Electronic copy. Can't sleep, I just had an hour there. Does he have an hour? Yeah. But it's terrible when the body closes down. Honestly. I'll use Judd. He'll use Judd. Is that an anagram? I'll use Judd. That's a fucking anagram of something. Evening, John Franco says IBR. Evening, IBR. And Darrell says, Dean O'Brien, it gets done, in my opinion. They're into the deal to work now. We've done it all before, Darrell, you know it. Frank, did you get your half bottle of Bushmilk? I never, to be honest, because Francine came down and she said, do you want anything out the shop? And I said, yeah, I said, I'm doing a proper shopping at the weekend, George, and I'm going to get a Bushmilk. So let you know. At the weekend. And someone mentioned about magnesia. So she just got me a couple of things and a couple of items. That's all. It never went out of my mind, the Bushmilk, but I will get it when I do a proper shop on Saturday or Sunday at the weekend. Simon, sadly, Frank, this is how these idiots make their money, spinning a load of crap to get you to click on articles simply because of the advertising they earn on the sites. They have no shame. I and they charge you as well. They charge you, if you want a super chat and all that. What the fuck's that all about? Wouldn't charge anyone anything, me. Rather give than take. And I've got how many? 960, 966, no, 64 subscribers. And that's without buying them, because these people do buy them to get all the. Tell me that. Bear Brosk. Blackpool Beach defender. Yeah, you must have heard that. That was so funny. That. And when we were at Anfield in a match, he said, "Get the Merseyside police in. They've got cones on the field. They've left cones on the field." Very passionate. Youssef. Hey, Youssef, I haven't seen you for a while. What's happening with vets? Why are we too busy fapping around? That's it. Look, we've done it loads of times. That's the amount of names that we've been, oh yeah, we're all linked to it. And I never fall for it. But I did fall for Carapashela. I did fall for him. I thought we were going to sign in the summer for 56 or 58 million. One of the best wingers you're ever likely to see. And then that was in the summer. Then winter came. The window opened January. I thought we are going to get him. Fucking fell for it. Now it's see what they do, and it's been going on for years. Oh, and you get fans saying, "At least we went after them. Look where we went after." But look who they went to. They wanted to go to London, and all this crap. And they fall for it every fucking time. What have we said on here? What have all you said on here, and myself included? Take no notice until they're at the AXA training centre with a little shirt sitting at a table to sign it, like Frimpong. That's the way that's the way we look at it. It's all because of the owners. It's all because of them. We know what they're like. Simon, Frankie, if you get a chance, watch the Goldridge clicks when Man United get. I've seen them, but I only watch the Liverpool ones. And being honest, he is definitely passionate. Oh, of course. Did you know he was formerly a copper investigating fraud? I knew that he was a cop. Yeah, I knew that. I just someone said it once. And Mark Goldridge is part of Telly. Is he? Is he? Didn't know that. Didn't know that. Like me, he's got a name like Goldridge. My name's Carlyle. And I'm half Italian. On my mother's side, though. Jesus. Every time I come in here, he knows it. Might be moving from here, by the way. Might be moving. In fact, I will be moving, put it that way. Jesus. Scottish Bear. Liverpool pissing about in the transfer market. There's nothing new on that front. Absolutely, Bear. Absolutely. And Darrell says we were late in for Casino. I feel Verts will be done. I feel Verts will be done. They owe us a window of all windows on the front. Looks like we're stuck with Nunes. That's what I mean. Has anybody else come in? Has anybody else? Oh, I just got that fucking pain back. Has anybody else been in for any of our players? Anyone? There's only Kelleher. And if no one comes in, I'll guarantee you this. If no one comes in for any of our players and we can't sell them, there's no way these owners are going to spend shareholders' money, bonuses. Why do you think they bring in people? You know, they say, yeah, look at that. This is what we can earn. So they invest. If you're invested, you want a return. And a fucking big return. You must take that with fucking take. Smash them likes on the way in, Liverpool faithful. Thank you, Scottish. Thank you so much. And George said, chill lads, if the signings don't come, then kick off. Just be cool. You see, George, it's not it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of these pundits saying, look, you know, they're going to get a deal done, like that Irish lad. The deal is done, and he's out. And people are fucking believe it. I'd never believed in that fella. Over a few signings, not just Bellingham. And he had to come on, was it yesterday? And he went, I have to apologise. Because he said, oh, it's done tomorrow. He's flying over. You get other idiots who sit there on their plane watch. Waiting for planes to come in. What the fuck is that all about? These right, these people. Oh, Josephine. Hello, Dr. Frank. Hiya, Joe. I hope you're well, sweetheart. Sorry I haven't been in touch. Terrible in LA, isn't it? You know, the riots there. Going on all over. America, New York. People getting arrested. There's a lady who was arrested. She came from South America. I think she was South America. I'm not quite so sure. And she was just out. She's on a holiday in New York. And she got dragged in by the police. And she was trying to tell them, speaking Spanish. And her daughter was crying. 12 years of age. Same age as my granddaughter. Left her in the fucking street. Arrested. Then they had to let her go. It's shocking. Let's go shopping and oh yes. Yes. Comprate in Italia. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The bear. It was I that yeah. See, it was I. Not like I told you, Frank. It was I. That mentions a lack of magnesia can cause a lack of sleep. Go away. A lack of magnesium can cause. Go away. I didn't know that. Honestly. That's what our Francine said. She said, I'll get your son, Dad. So I said, okay. Still waiting. Albeit she came down to see me today. What do you want, sir? Get me a loaf. Okay, Dad. Let's go shopping in Italy. "20 times, to be honest." You're right there, Joe. You're right. I hope you're well. Joe was fucking attacked in LA. Could have easily been fucking killed by some fucking horrible prick. My little mate Joe. Sure. But she's a scouser. She can take care of herself. Neil, but I renewed my season ticket for next year. So fucking what? I'm only joking. No, you've always done it, mate. You've always said, you're a good lad. You're always there. If you don't tick the auto cups, you don't get a chance again. They beat you up. Absolutely. I know, mate. I know. Darryl said, Incapi is linked at the moment, Frank, and I'd love Incapi, you know, but it's it on notice. Honest to God. Reds is getting a plane over. Everyone was made up. Germany got beat. He's flying over. Plane watch. He's flying. You said, do you know what it says? London has good PR. It's being marketed in a way to make it sound like the best city in Europe. Yeah, I don't know. But that's got ordinary Londoner. That's got ordinary Londoner. That's why they all move out of there. I mean, like to Essex. Lots of move to Essex. These towns. Because of it. I know. Frimpong is so happy to be here, says that. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the lad in his, when he signed, going through his medical. He was happy. I'm not reading that. He does just a football show, to be honest, Darryl, and he gives like updates on things. But you get other pods, and there's another fella, I don't know where the fuck he comes from, and he goes, "Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are." Fucking starts talking, reading from papers and whatever. I don't fucking read from papers. What? Anyone can do that. They all do it. I'd rather listen to you to say what you're saying, not what these papers are saying, because they have you believing everything. Simon says, try for rich foods like turkey, fish, low-fat cheese, or magnesium foods like spinach, nuts, and avocados. Warm milk or herbal teas such as chamomile can also be helpful. Might help. Thing is, I can't eat nuts. I like nuts. I think it's because I am nuts. No, I can't eat nuts. I used to love the packets of nuts, PK nuts. Used to love them. Salted nuts. can't eat them anymore. Turkeys, I know the wet meat of turkeys goes into, you know, the fish. I'm not a great fish lover. The smell knocks me fucking hell. I don't know what's wrong with me, you know. It's terrible. I get all this itch around here. It's so annoying. So annoying. And I've got the pain in my arm as well. And when I go to bed, sometimes that really kicks off in bed. And just a week. Yusuf. Yeah, Mark Goldridge's real name is Brent de Cesare. Go away. Or something like that. Go away. Brent. I think he's funny. I think he's funny. I can't speak. I can't speak. I can't speak. Oh, great. Frank's real name, says Johan, is Brent de Cesare. Brent de Cesare, that's his birth name. Brent de Cesare is Goldridge's real name. Very good. Do you want to know my real name? Francesco Domenico Volante Carlyle. But try signing that fucking thing. Sign your name here. I had to sign my name today on something. And you get a little box like that, and it's got to be within the box. Now, my signature is very big. It's very big. And I have to put it in. It doesn't look like my signature. Johan. Goldridge is his stage name because he couldn't use his real name when he was investigating fraud. All right. Well, you know, I'd go back to my real name if I was in. Never lose your real identity. The red bird, are you red? How'd you do, Frankie? Hope you're feeling okay. I am, but it's all this here. My fucking arm goes off. Al Hilal pulls out for Nunes. Elliott now linked with Spurs. So is Gomez. Enzo linked to going back to Stuttgart. Well, you watch Sky Sports, don't you? You know, so that's where you're getting your information. Nothing fucking happens. How long have you been texting me about things? Don't fucking bother me anymore. Frank, says the bear. Bungalow, that's what I'm going to. Okay, now that's what I'm going to. That's brilliant, that. There, honestly. It'd be lovely for you, my friends. I have a one-bedroom bungalow with a garden. I love it. I hope you can get some. Okay, now. I'll tell you what I'll do with you, Bear. When I do finally, that's what I'll be going to. Because where I live, and when I see the Anfield Roar, I'm fucking locked in. And it's the way it is. I'm on the second floor. And if I wanted to sit out, I have to sit by a bin shed. Fucking flies, wasps, bees, spiders, everything. Flying ants. In the good weather. Honestly, it's shocking. Because I can't go very far. Honestly, I can't go very far. And I struggle getting down it, then I struggle getting back up. It's terrible. I'm still waiting for a letter to go to, to get to these physios, see if they can help me. And that's what I'm waiting for. I went for an MRI scan the week before last, I think, a couple of weeks ago. And these physio people said, we have to wait for the results. Well, they must have had the results right away. I'm fucking waiting for them. And it's been over there 2.5 years now. And I've been deteriorating. I had tickets the other night to go and see Bruce Springsteen. And I got them. I got two. One for Francine, because it was around her birthday. And myself. And I couldn't go. So I said to her, so she brought along a cousin. He's a big fan of the boss. And that's the sad indictment you see about me. I can't do anything. I'm not feeling sorry for him. Well, it's only, you know what I mean? I'm fucking just sitting in here. Let's see. I have a 1-bedroom bungalow with a garden. That's what I need. I need to sit out in a garden. I get no fresh air and nothing. Even me mail, I have to go downstairs. If they're in those, because this is a modern building and security doors and everything's fucking mad. And I have to go down to the mailboxes for me mail. It's just nuts. I love it. I hope you can get something nice. Thank you for that bed. London is no longer English. England, English is a minority. They reckon, Redbird, that by 2040, the English, I'll just say that, will be in a minority. Think about it. Think about it. Neil brother, Verts is defo shining. I seen him in the lobster pot buying a curry rice and chips. Told me he'll be shining. And up he went to Cooper's. It has become a joke, though, hasn't it? I personally believe, says Simon, these deals will get done, but sadly the club haggling over money. One YouTuber I do watch is Duncan Oldham, Cop Talk. He is old school, but he has his finger on the pulse in Spain. Yeah, Duncan. Yeah. I used to go on as thing, but it's the same old rhetoric off them as well. Right? The real reason why Lucho, you know, and all, I've seen a thing today, clickbait again. The real reason why Barca want Lucho. Come on. Toscana, Simon, is Duncan the fella who based it? Yeah. And reads all this? Yeah. He's the fucking same. Reading the Spanish papers. He's another fella about Zubamendi, that's He's another fella about Zubamendi. For the Spanish newspapers. I wonder how much longer will it be before you need a digital ID to buy a ticket for any football match, and they'll block your purchase if you criticise the goal. That's a cracking comment, though. Because have you noticed there is becoming more political now? Everything is becoming political. And if you think about it, political. That's a cracking bit of comment, though. Or fail to comply to the regime. Their brother, like an hedgehog at a balloon party. Sarah says, can we stop talking about Goldbridge, please? Call me a horrible name, but my weight. No, Vox Populi, Frank, voice of the people. Vox Populi. I know that's the population, of people. It's a bit Latin, that, isn't it? Vox Populi. Frank, voice of the people. I wish there was a voice of reason, to be honest. George. And Simon Toscana, he does what Frank does, but he has a real insight of the journals to watch and the ones not to follow. He gives a good insight of the Spanish press, but gives his honest slant on any articles. Callum. Hello, Callum. Good, Frank. Do you mean good evening, Callum? I thought your real name was just like, no, that's how you have that. See how Jared's got blimey. Redbird. Goldridge was a copper, I heard. Does anyone know if it's... Yeah, it's true. He's been saying that, Redbird. He was in the fraud thing. He's a fraud, into the fraud. As he doesn't know me. Scottish Bear. I can't do Dunk anymore, says the Scottish Bear. He regurgitates the media exactly and begs for coffees exactly. and says he doesn't like Liverpool anymore. It's all for his community. It's not, it's a business. Just admit it, dunk, course. Buy me a coffee. That's what he says, is it? And you go, what for? To read the fucking papers. And if you notice, he fucking flies off everywhere. It's in New York. That's Sam I went to. What? New York? Is he fucking working? He's got a big villa there. And he's wanting coffee. No, I can't be bothered with those people. I'm sorry. I just can't. The phonies. I can fucking, I'll tell you what I'll do here. I can read from fucking things, you know. Papers. It's so easy. David Ornstein says only, I can read it. Don't be worrying, he's saying that we're going to get him. We're going after them as well. I can say that. I can do it. You can do it. Anyone can do it. But we don't, when you get other fucking fellas, I'm not mentioning who sit around talking, oh yeah, fucking phonies. Don't say fuck all against the owners because they get tickets. They get tickets. Good shout that, Bear. Good shout that. Lovely Toscana says, I like Mark Goldridge, even if he's a Man United fan. He comes across as fair. That's when he does. I think he's funny. I think he's funny. I really do. And but when he does his just ordinary football thing, you know, like transfers and things like that. He even says, I think it was around in January, February, he said Liverpool are going to win the league. What he said? Mark my words. Liverpool is going to win the league. What he said. In that sort of accent, anyway. So you're right there, Toscana. He does come across as fair. And he says, you know, if Liverpool get Verts, Kerkez, this Frimpong, and a couple of strikers, he said they're going to be formidable. They'll be formidable. I can't speak. My next door neighbour's list. What's going on there? George says, Scottish, I love the picture. Japanese Akita. I had one exactly like the pic, same colours. His name was Split. The bear says, that's great, that, right? When I moved to my one-bedroom bungalow, it's all changed for me for the better. Excellent. Honest, I'm locked out. I've become institutionalised, especially after lockdown. The fucking Boris Johnson and all that crap about the vaccinations, COVID and whatever, and wearing masks. I said at the time, wish you knew me, all of you. I said at the time about wearing a mask, I said, do you fucking realise you're bleeding in? Germalines get everywhere, you know, you get cracks everywhere. That's what he fucking got. You can't see germs. I think I'll wear my mask today, you know. That's fucking phony. Stop breathing it in. And as you know, there was a hell of a lot of frauds going on with that PPE. Wasn't there? Look at that Moan one. Horrible person, should be in jail. Should be doing at least 35 years in jail and giving the money back. Still free, she's still going on a yacht on fucking big cruises and giving her offspring loads of fucking millions she gave them. So it was all a fraud. It was all a phone. And Boris Johnson, lockdown, it's done a hell of a lot of damage to people. People couldn't even see their parents fucking dying, in old people's homes. Fucking shocking. It's shocking. Simon says, it took many journals just regurgitate the same garbage. I don't watch a lot on YouTube because of all they after his revenue. Yeah, they're all on super chats. That's why I love Frank's channel. Fair, straight talking, and no bull. Thank you, sir. So scared. Blimey, are we all moving into a book club? I'm going to view one on Friday. Go away. No. Okay, now. Yeah, see. I mentioned the bungalow. The bear comes on and says, I'm living in a bungalow, it's great. And so scared, I say, I'm going to live. Yeah, the lady said to me, you've got a great chance of it. I phoned my doctors up today, to be honest. I said, can I? It's lovely young girl. I'm on the phone for ages, like it's ringing. So I'll have to get through to them. I just said it's the only way. I explained and I said about, wanting to move, and they wanted this medical history. I said, it's the only way my doctors, my doctor could give it. She said, yes, no problem. So I'll be going up there tomorrow for a printout. I'll just bring it down there. I'll tell you what, those application forms, though, fucking hell, some things on there. What's your first language? What would you rather speak? If I would have said hairdo, I might have got it quicker. No, I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to view on Friday the 30th. Keith Rady. Hiya, Keith. Ange will hang around for the United job when Amarim is sacked in the autumn. Red Bear spot on, lads, about Dunk. Shows you. IBR. If you don't get Verts, then I'd like Eze, Stille, and Ekatike instead. What about Nkapi? And where's Kirkes there? Fucking hell, I've got it. something in my fucking mouth, you know. And do you know what? I've got a little ulcer. On my tongue. Simon, looks like I'm in a minority about done. I bow to greater minds. We agree to disagree. Yes. Yeah. But think about it, Simon, you know. He lives in a big thing, villa, with a swimming pool. And he can fly off to New York. I've got nothing against that, honestly, I am. And then he says, buy me. And he's got like these other things, hasn't he? Like exclusive, you know, the, what is it? Members only. How much you fucking pay for that? It's the fee. Do you see what I mean? Your members on here. I don't ask for anything. Does he give any fucking things out? Like I gave my grandson, what, do you know what someone said? That I cheated on that, you know, and I fucking didn't. And I asked my grandson to wear it just to show. Just bear with me on this. I hope I've got it. Bear with me. Please. Oh, fuck. I don't know where the fuck it is. Must have took it now. I must have took it off. I said, let me take a photograph of your hand. Yeah, I haven't got it. Must have took it off. Fuck. It was just... I haven't got it. Sorry. And he's wearing the watch, you know, he said, I don't like that, Granddad. And I said, well, that was the prize. He said, well, you've got other watches, you know, seen. I said, well, all right, you know, just pick one. And he picked it. So he picked it. So I'm still stuck with that one. There's a reduction in the population in the UK in certain areas, Frank. We have been talking about it just recently. I know what you mean. Safe, but thing is, you know where we have regrets? No, have we? You know that wonderful song. I should have been retired in Italy. But that was my ambition. We all have regrets. There's loads of... I've gone through life regretting things. Really have. And I should have been working in Italy, living now, today, in retirement. That's what I always wanted to do. But wasn't to be. Or because of a lady, a partner, a wife, ex-wife, as it is. Twice. Should have gone. I had a job in the Lord Byron College in Rome, my favourite city in all the world. And then I had another job in the scene. I've got what you call a TEF, teach English as a foreign language, besides other qualifications. Loads of them. And you know what? You know, someone said to me, can you show us your paper? I can't, because they're all lost in transit. I had a personal letter, handwritten, off, well, he's a king now, King Charles, when he was prince. Can you imagine how much that would be worth? Callum. Frank, do you like Dunkin' biscuits and tea? Malted biscuits. And I do Dunkin'. Or them rich tea, rich tea ones. You got me there, Callum. Absolutely. George. The one who boils my piss is Fabrizio Romano. He would sit 40 autos in the National, then boast he got it right. I can't understand him. He talks too fast. Just can't understand. He talks very fast, so I don't bother watching him. Johan. Fan channels were once supposed to be the voice of the fans. They've been reduced to access journalism and tabloid clickbait nonsense for a quick buck. Brilliant. Brilliant, Johan. Brilliant, that. Great comment. Oh, my old mate, Paul Bear. Good evening, Frank. I hope you're well. Being on garden. Getting a lawnmower outside with your little hoe. I hope H-O-E, the hoe. Do you know what you call it? You know, how these shears. I broke the lawnmower once. This was when I was. And I promised that I'd do the garden, whoever's in first, and I was in first. Fucking hell. So, and I ended up on my hands and knees. That's where I could bend down and get on my hands and knees. And I was clipping it with the shears, the lawn. Okay, now. Because I broke the lawnmower. Got to say this. Where I lived, smashing all new houses and whatever. And, a couple of people were buying lawnmowers, new ones, Can I borrow that, mate? Yeah. Anyway, doing a little bit of garden, whatever. After because they had to buy, rolls of lawn. That's some fella, he was putting down his things, honestly. The rolls of lawn, that fellas just dumped in, put it. You had to take it up and put it down yourself. The delivery man. And he was putting it down. Should see his garden it was like fucking that. It was like that all over the place. He just threw it down. After turning it over, lumps everywhere. Anyway, the same fella said to one of the lads, he was just going to him borrowing a fucking lawnmower. And this is when I first moved in. And he said, okay. Anyway, he left the lawnmower, in the front garden. Left it in the front garden. Went in for a cup of tea. When he came out, the fucking lawnmower was gone. Someone nicked it. Someone nicked the lawnmower. And the fella, he actually ends up buying 2 lawnmowers. One for himself, because the fella said, you better fucking buy me one. And you're not borrowing us again either. So he bought himself 2. Same ones, you know them Flymo things. So thanks for that, Paul. Barry, I don't believe that governments and so-called leaders, they say and use it as an excuse to invade our once Great Britain. Legal immigration is good. We now have millions of illegal. Well, yes, that's the problem. I wrote something, just bear with me. Please bear with me on this. And it was for a statue. It was for a statue. I hope I get it. Just honestly, bear with me. I hope I get it. I hope I get it. And I don't, I fucking don't. And it was about migrants and this city. And this city, unfortunately, I must have now, I haven't got it. I had it, I'm sure they fucking say things up. Oh yeah, I've got it. Right. And just bear with me on this. They asked me to write something, only a small piece. And here's what I wrote. Now this is going on the foot of this statue that was found here in Liverpool. Sacred Heart of Jesus. And there was one of 5 made during the 1770s in Paris, France. One is in the Notre Dame, Paris. He made there. And one is in the Vatican. And we ended up with one. The others were destroyed during the 2 others were destroyed during the Second World War. Anyway, this fella found it in a tip. Outside, it was a nunnery, a convent that was getting knocked out. It was flats. Being turned into flats. The nuns just went because they brought the thing over from France during the early part. I think it was during the Revolution, during the French Revolution, 1789, and they moved because Danton and Robespierre, they hated religion. They said religion is the fucking devil. Anyway, so they had to move. So they came to Liverpool and they opened a convent and they brought this statue. And it survived until, that closed down the convent. Anyway, cut a long story short, this fella, wonderful man, he did it up and presented it to where I live. And they wanted me to give a talk. I said, yes, sure. And they said, will you write something? Because at the bottom of the statue is like a Bible, say, with pages open, like that. Beautiful it is. It's porcelain or marble. I don't know what it is, to be honest. But anyway, that lay at the foot of the feet of Christ. And here's what I wrote. I started off with a quote by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. One of my favourite quotes. Man is born free, however, he is everywhere in chains. And we all are. No matter what, we're all, you and I, not these elitists, not these globalists, if you know what I mean, but us, just ordinary people. And I said that, you know, quoted that at the top. And underneath I said, the influx of migrants into this city of Liverpool has been ongoing for centuries, with a mixture of different cultures and ethnicity. Migrants who fled their countries of origin, whether through forced exile, expulsion, beliefs, hunger, and wars. Liverpool has welcomed each migrant with open arms, inviting them to share a quality of life and live under the same umbrella, the one umbrella, and the roof, in peace and harmony. Migrants brought with them their skills, music, cuisine, variety, and colour. Because, you know, it could only write so much for that particular thing. And there it is, that's what I wrote. So you can't fucking see it. But anyway, that's what I wrote. Yeah. It's just one of those things, isn't it, that about Liverpool, about this city, with all the mixture, with all that migrants. As I said, my mother's Italian. Or was, you know, she's well past home. And my dad was a New Zealander, in the New Zealand Royal Navy. He was an officer during the war. Blowing up, he was a SBS, Special Boats Service. Nearly killed 4 times. But you're right there, the illegal immigrants, I've seen them. I've fucking seen them. They're all young fellas, have you noticed? Think about it. Scottish. Fabrizio Romano, it's here we go, any minute now, 18 days ago. England beating Senegal, hip hip hooray. I don't follow England. I've never done, honestly. You know the way I follow Liverpool. And I follow the Azori, Italy. And this fella, I always never forget it. I didn't know, you know, just chatting. And he said, Steven Gerrard's captain of England. I said, yeah, what? He said, well, which one you support? I said, what? It's not because Steven Gerrard's captain of England I've got to support England. Don't support them. And one fellow went, it's not because of Hillsborough. I said, no, I've never fucking supported them. From a young lad, young kid. What do I want to support them for? That's me. So I'm unpatriotic because I support it. Geriatric, geriatric. I think I'm a geriatric. Seen the rise and fall of Michelle Moan on BBC. There was no fall bit like must be 2 parts in. I won't fucking watch BBC. I'm being honest. They support the elite. She should be in jail. She should be doing fucking years in jail. along with others as well. Matt Hancock, giving a fucking manager of a pub millions, set up a firm. He never fucking done nothing like that Mo. Out of a lot, Jerry. There's not enough bungalows built because of the room and cost and lack of profit. I truly hope you get yours. You deserve it. Thank you, Barry. Thank you. I'll show myself to be honest. I just want to sit out. Just want to sit out. Barry, they don't care about us natives. They want bigger houses for the invaders. I could tell you something, but I won't. I can't, you get in trouble the way it is today. And it's a genuine thing. It's a genuine thing. Don't forget, there's labels for us all. That's control, so you can't say anything. It's what you call freedom of speech. But that freedom of speech is being taken away. What about a Canalbo, Franco? Franco's booze cruises. The Bushmills cruises. That'd be good, wouldn't it? The Bushmills cruises. You'll always have a good sleep with Bushmill cruises. Be fucking drunk on the time to go. Where have we been? Paul. We on the FSG transfer merry-go-rounds until pick in red shirt and Anfield. It's Bulls. Yep. Absolutely, Paul. And George says, sorry to mix the threads to history flag, but I watched a great pod today about the Second Punic War. Such slaughter, but the tactical ideas are still studied today. Well, in the First World War, I used to have, in the First World War, the old generals, they did a plan in the First World War, just like Waterloo plan, the way the British were. They were still 100 years before. 100 years before those battle plans. We didn't realise what the Germans were doing, and we had cavalry. You sent in it. I used to have footage of the cavalry going in. It's God know that. And you won't see that on YouTube or anything. And you had them going in. Oh, fucking hell. It was shocking. And with those mortars and, these shelling, oh, shocking. It's being blown to pieces. So they still look at these things. You've only got to look at the trench warfare today in Ukraine, and they're going back to Napoleon. Because they say that the Romans, I lectured about the Romans, that they dug the first trench warfare. It wasn't so much as trench warfare, to be honest. What it was, they did it. If they were in a battle, they send the auxiliaries in, and if anything was going, they said, "Oh, fuck that," and they brought the auxiliaries back and waited, for their charges, cavalry charges, and fellas running, with the swords or whatever. And as they ran, they fell down a fucking big pit. There's only a rat here. But it was Napoleon. Dig in. Dig deep, dig in. And that's what you have. Tuscan. I think the difference on here is that more homely, more friendly, we can agree to disagree, and even fans of other clubs join in. Yeah, that's a cracker. And you're right. Genuine, you see, the genuine people. Honestly, they are. I always remember Darwin the goat. Give Darwin his tail. I hardly see him now, unfortunately. He's only a young fella. And he said, he's great, God, give him another 5-year contract, whatever. And he was getting some stick. And he came on, I think, last week. He made a comment. Christopher. I Frank and everyone. So you see, Toscana, that was a cracking little thing. Even fans from other clubs joining. And that's the likes of Johan. And even that Fairfight, what was his name? Fairnight, a Leeds United supporter. You haven't seen him. He must have gone to the Caribbean or so. I pressed the wrong one there. I'm sorry. I'll have to go from Christopher here. LFC announced a double-header friendly at Anfield the 4th of August. It's on Monday, so I can go if I can get a ticket. There you go. There you go. Against Athletic Club. Is that Atletico Madrid or Charlton Athletic? Be the Charlton owner. Be Atletico. Stay to the I had to unsubscribe from Frank's channel, then rejoin to get Frank's alerts going again. Oh, go away. But YouTube, I've been saying this for years. Well, not years, sorry. Ages. They unsubscribe people, and people don't realise, so that you subscribe again, because it's like me asking people to subscribe or ask other people to subscribe. But that's the way it's worked out anyway. I'm being honest, I should be well over what I've got now. Honestly. And Simon to the red. That is why populations in our major cities have changed so much due to government policy. I know I am deviating, but the rise of reform is causing panic at Westminster. Watch them. Yeah. You're right there, Nigel Farage. You either agree with him or disagree with him. And that's Tommy Robinson fella. Why doesn't he use his real name? Robinson. If anyone uses a pseudonym, you go, do you trust him? But mind you, he's being saying it for years, hasn't he? What's happening today? Clean up in Wales, says Simon, next year and kick out Labour in 2029. Everything's changing. I think Storm, I don't care what anyone says to me, but Starmer is not a Labour man. I said that. He was picked to lead the Labour Party by the deep state. That's got another show now. Beautiful that, Frank, says Paul Bear. Thank you. Do you mean the thing? Thank you, Paul. And Steve, the Scottish Bear, Steve, it's because of the low likes with the algorithms. If they're low, the notifications won't come out. That's right, because people have to like, don't they, all the time? They have to like to get the algorithm out there. And Steve says to the Bear, that makes sense. Thank you, big man. Yeah. The Bear comes back by saying the algorithm helps to grow Frank's channel. So smash it. That's the way. I feel, when I ask, I feel like it's totally, you do get these podcasters saying smash the like and subscribe every time. But I don't like saying that because it's as though I'm forcing people. I know it sounds daft like, but it does to me, personally. Thanks there, Scottish Bear. Steve. Yeah, now look at this lad here. I am a jokey. I am a jokey. Watch my live stream, yeah, Telegram channel, 100%. There you go. You want to watch matches? Well, they always come on, those lads, don't they? Everybody from all walks of life, welcome to the UK. Yeah. Says Steve. It's like anything else, but if you're illegal, that's wrong. That's wrong. Anything illegal. And that's what the lads are going on about. The illegals. As I said, you've got to be careful what you say now. Apologies, Frank. I was being sarcastic about England. Say Sam. You don't say. Johan. Frank. UKLFI. UK lawyers for Israel forced BBC to sack Lineker before his final interview with Mo Salah. You think they panicked that Gaza would be brought up in the interview? Of course. But that's what they think. I don't think Gary Lineker would have brought it up. That's in my opinion. Because Mo Salah is just a lovely person. Mo Salah is a lovely human being. Always got a smile on his face. His wife is a lovely person. She's so proud of him, I forget what she is. She's a like some scientist, I think. Big scientist, leading scientist. And his daughters, They're Scousers. Know what I mean? He's just a lovely. And if I was an interviewer and something was going on, and you know, in another country, and well, it's genocide in anybody's eyes, I don't think he'd ask Mulder. I think he would have just stuck to football. So, you know, good for like Gary Lineker and what he said about, you know, I never seen him saying it because I don't watch BBC. Don't watch the news, don't watch the weather. So, good shout there, yo. Zionists control 90% of world leaders, say Steve. BlackRock just want resources no matter what country. That's why they supplied Ukraine for years. That's why, you know, people say, you know, you're getting these stupid generals, especially in America, a fella by the name of Kellogg, absolutely fucking lunatic. And he's saying, they haven't gone far, the Russians. They had years of building defences, and those defences were bunkers. Of every material. And it was, you know, they have to destroy the bunkers first to move forward. And Russia only wanted to take Russian-speaking oblasts. That's all, where they were being destroyed. The Russian culture. This is long before this. But now it's changed. It's gone from, I don't know whether you're aware of this, it's gone from SMO, Special Military Operation, to a war on terrorism, because what they did with the shocking what the Ukrainians said. But I don't believe it was the Ukrainians. It was NATO and the British. Lavrov came out and blamed the British. Behind those nuclear bombers that should never have been breached by any country. That was a treaty between Russia and America. What was of America done? Excuse me. What was of America have done if it would have happened to their nuclear bombers? See? But now they're paying the penalty now. Ukraine, because they said, you know, they gave red lines. They crossed loads of red lines, and Putin's been, okay, we fucking sort them, don't worry. But that was the big red line. Now, and they blew up trains, they blew up civilians on a bridge. That's an act of terrorism. So now it's gone to war on terrorism. And that means that they haven't done it before, but they will now. They'll go after the leaders. That means Zelensky, Ermak, Budanov, they're going to go after them. So, you know, the way the corrupt Zelensky has bought loads of homes all over the place, he's not going to enjoy them. Neither is that Ermak. Neither is Budanov. They're all going to go there. They'll go one way or the other. So you're right there, Steve. Me too. Zionist. You know, you don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist, you know. Did you know that? You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. Simon LFC. I had an old mate, retired Navy officer, took a group of us to the Somme trip. I used to bring my students over there. Very sad seeing the waste of human life as well as the valley, the likes of Vinnie Ridge. Yeah, sad he couldn't get any lottery funding. I used to bring my students over, to be honest, into a few of them. I made a little video, me and my ex-partner, and you see me, we're in the Senate, forget what one now, and you see me kneeling down at 3 headstones. You know, hundreds of headstones, but you see me kneeling down. You know, he was cut because they were spread out, and what they were one 14-year-old and 2 15-year-olds graves, headstones, young British lads. And Rudyard Kipling wrote a poem because he signed a paper to send his lad Harry over to his mates. He couldn't get in because of his myopia, his eyes. And the army wouldn't let him in. And he said, Dad, you know people. And anyway, he had a words with a couple of generals, and they said, okay. And so the MOD said, all right, we allow you in we allow him in if you sign this paper. He said, okay. So we signed this paper. And that's the same as these, the dads of these 14 and 15 and 16-year-olds signing a paper. And Kipling wrote this poem. It's only a 2-line. If any question why we died, tell them because our fathers lied. Meaning, they lied on a piece of paper. And all the men engage every night, 24/7, 365 days, stroke 6 leap year. The last posters gets played. And who paid for that? Rudyard Kipling. And it's through his estate. Still pays for it today. All because of his land. How did Rudyard Kipling get his name, by the way? Shall I tell you? Because he was conceived by a lake called Rudyard. You never knew what they got up to, did you, in the 19th century? George, Hannibal is still regarded as one of the greatest tactical generals. His use of cavalry was the reason for victory at Cannae against the Romans. Yeah, you're right there, George. Hannibal. Crossing the Alps with his elephants. See, people say about Alexander the Great being one of the greatest generals, and he was. But my favourite general was a lad by the name of Vespasian, 20 years of age, then went on to become Roman Emperor. And had the Colosseum built for his dad's birthday. How about that? It's just a quick one. God blimey, there's our football gone. As Steve says, Frank, social media saying Virgil has business interest in Israel, arms business in the Israel. If so, should he give up his captaincy? Should fucking be gone. I can't see that. I can't fucking see that. Honestly. I cannot see that. He's a fucking Christian. For God's sake, you see him coming on the pitch every time, picking a little bit of grass up, blessing himself. I think he's a Roman Catholic. To be fucking given, I tell you who has business interests in everything, and oil and all these arms. And I won't mention the name, but you do see them on the front of Liverpool shirts. And fucking people talk about oil money. We don't want oil money. I haven't a fucking clue what goes on there. They don't realise about FSG either, what interest they've got. Fucking ridiculous. Franco, says Simon. 3 wishes in life. Your personal hero, and if you could go back in time. What either? Oh, you swine. Oh. Your personal hero. Fucking hell. And if you could go back in time, what either would you? Oh. They're the hardest questions anyone could ever answer. I love the Roman period. Right? Loved it. I love Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. I could quote Shakespeare. I love Dickens. I can quote Dickens. See what I mean? So, what period? What period? There was a mad period in the 20th century where it was the most sedate and calm, and that was the 50s, known as the Ovaltine decade. We are the Ovaltine little girls and boys. I was a child. I was nice, albeit the fucking country was grimy and the city was grimy because we'd just been through a horrible war. Still getting over the grief of people dying. Over 3,500 civilians in this city was obliterated. That's a cracking question. Personally, I've got lots of heroes. I've got lots of heroes. See, I've always had like 5 things. I've had Field Marshal Montgomery. I've had Julius Caesar. Horatio Nelson. And Marshal Zhukov. Great people. Great leaders of their chosen profession. I can't pick one. And they're all military. They're all military. But if you look at, say, like Madame Curie, a woman. If you look at Kirsten Holland, what a man. inventing the X-ray. You see, so there's things like that you can look at medicine, you can look at engineering, you can look at sciences. I just can't pick a hair up, really. You can't pick an actor or either male or female over, one of the greatest scientists in the world. Like even Baird, he invented the TV. If you want Nikola Tesla, what he did, what he wanted to give the human race for free until the fucking greed of people. The likes of J.P. Morgan, even Edison said, fuck off, there's money to be made here. Nikola Tesla wanted to give electricity free to the world. And he ended up in a little bedroom, penniless. And Steve says, Frank, do you know Billy Moore, the local Scouse guy, Everton fan? His channel is great. He takes no from so-called hard guys trying to intimidate. I don't. No, I don't, Steve. Billy Moore, no. Intimidate him. No. He takes no. I don't. He's an Everton fan, Billy Moore, local Scouse. No, don't watch him. Don't know him. Sorry, Steve. Abdul Rahim. Hi, Frank and chat. How are you? Like, comments, share, subscribe. You never walk alone. Thank you, Abdul. Thank you. Okay, now we haven't mentioned that, have we really? Athletic Club. Oh, Bilbao. Go away. Go away. Atletico Bilbao on a Monday night at Anfield. Excellent stuff. They're the Basque region. The likes of Bilbao, the people who live around there, the Basque region, they won't be very pleased with Xabi Alonso going to Real Madrid. You know that? Because he's a Basque fella. I've got something in my fucking mouth. Besides me ulcer on my tongue. The Dama Donna, the party edition. Hello, Frankie baby. Hope you're good, my mate. The Dama Donna, the party edition. Some name that. Frank Starmer, the puppet. That Blair and the Zionist control. Of course, Steve. They're all puppets. Every one of them. The likes of, I tell you, the likes of Ursula von der Leyen and Kaya Kallas. Annalena Baerbock. 3 evil women then. Evil. Horrible. And every fucking one of them in the Second World War, they've got family who were Nazi. Fucking hell, this pain, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Fucking hell. Knocks me sick. Knocks me sick. Oh. It doesn't half get me, you know. That was one of the worst ones I've ever had. But you know, like von der Leyen's granddad or dad or granddad, I think. He had a newspaper, and it was all Nazi propaganda. So what does that tell you about her? What does it tell you about Kaya Kallas, her dad? Was in the fucking Nazi party, or the granddad? SS. What does it tell you? And Baerbock's a fucking lunatic, eh? Because Ukraine, what's it full of? The Azovs. The Azovs. Who are the Azovs? Nazis, Italians. As George Galloway says, Labour and the Conservative, they are tooks of the same art. Yes, he did say that to George. He was in Moscow at a big thing. It's strange, isn't it, how there's no Russian reporters allowed in London, Paris, Washington, anywhere. Not allowed in anywhere in the West. And yet, every newspaper, TV is in Moscow, interviewing the likes of Lavrov, interviewing the likes of Putin. See what I mean? But democracy, well, fucking, I seen a terrible thing just before it came up. Shocking it was. And I had to turn it off fucking quickly. And you see a Ukrainian soldier digging a pit, but it wasn't a pit. Oh, fuck it. It was a grave, his own grave. But was it a Russian standing over him? It was a fucking Ukrainian. Be fucking shooting them if they want to get away, if they try to surrender. I've been watching these lads, these pals, and they saying, do you want to go back? He said, no, don't want to go back. These are Ukrainian prisoners of war just being interviewed. Anyway, guys, let's all hit the like button to help Frank. I've done it, says Simon. Come on, lads and ladies, let's help them. Jeez. Some people might go, fuck off, you know, so political and everything. Oh, fucking hell, it's worrying this. I don't know how to. Fucking hell. It's horrible, this pain. And Steve says, Frank, for example, if Russia or China started bombing the UK, which country would you take your family to in illegal boats to save your family and not get killed? Italy. No, I understand what you're saying, but, you know, when's fucking China bombed? When's Russia fucking bombed? tell you what, when's the fucking America bombed every fucking day? America started all these fucking wars. Putin said, forget it, I'm fucking fed up saying. And you've got to ask the question, why did Putin go into Ukraine in the first place? Do you know what? I'll have to stop you now. I'm sorry. I'm in such fucking pain. Frank, what's the latest on my Mbappe joining? Talk still going on. Remember that? Mbappe. Frank, I have all the reason in the world to hate Mo. He's buried us many times, but I absolutely love him as a player and as a person, says Johan. Steve says, Frank, did you listen to Pep's speech about Palestine? No, I didn't. I don't. No. If it was on the telly, no. I don't watch it. And my old mate Jaden, Fun Life. These names cracking me up. It's me, Lil Lad. He's autistic, making a different name from better he is, Frank. You never walk alone. JFD TV 97. Gone but not forgotten 97. Jaden. It's not you, Brian. Your name, Jaden. Frank, is NATO a war machine of death and destruction in the name of... Yeah. You want to see what's going on in Ukraine. And the likes of fucking von der Leyen and that Kai Kallas. They're saying we're fighting for democracy in Ukraine. Have you seen the fucking state of what the democracy is in Ukraine? Imprisoning priests. Imprisoning priests. Imprisoning journalists who's opposed to Zelensky. And then investigative reporters, they're either, just murdered, or you go to the prisons and say, you can join the army or just... So what do? They get sent to the front line to be killed. That's true, that. Oh. Plato. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. That's Plato said that. If you feel pain, you're alive. If you feel other people's pain, you're a human being. Think about them. Think about Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Man is born free, however, he is everywhere in chains. We're all in fucking chains. We'll always will be. The vlogs, ILA. Even in Franco Ball as well, listening in the background while playing with the kids. And Johan to Steve says, North Atlantic terrorist organisation, that's a cracker, that. I always remember in 1999, they went into Serbia and bombed fuck out of it. Serbia. Serbia's are nothing to know. They're a terrorist group. They're every fucking way, but they're American-led. American-led. That's who they are. America has always wanted to police the world. But they fucked it up this time, because they won't. Because China and Russia have moved closer to one another, which they weren't in the past. Now they have, because they fucking realised, look what these are like. Steve, how can one vote against the ceasefire in Gaza? They allowed to stand, and other countries have voted for a ceasefire, and this has been ignored. American terrorist government voted against the ceasefire, yet they abstained. No, they vetoed it, didn't they? Because Congress, mostly Jews, Genghis Khan, one of the greatest leaders in the history of the world, says that, yeah, big Genghis. Certainly was. Frank, when purchased LFC gear, I removed standard charter and accent off the clothes. Do you stay? That's unbelievable, that. You see, it's you don't know who these people are involved with. Well, I'm not saying you know, I know. The lads on here, the girl. But these people who shout out, oil money, we don't want oil money. Having a fucking clue. They're covered in it. We're covered in oil money. Well, your fucking owners are greedy. Simon, lucky to see the grave of the great Noel Shabazz. Listen out for me on Thursday, Simon. Just listen out for me. I'm doing a pod on Thursday. Awarded twice, the first time for bravery at the song, and the second a passion day. Just listen out for me. Loving the love content, me old mucker. You're the man, El Capo di Franco. El Capo di Capo. They should keep politics out of football. Also, they should ban political banners. Only football banners should be seen at matches. Says that a bit. Yeah. Do you ever remember when FSG first came in and they banned all the banners? Because what they were told, remember Nixon Gillette, they had to get Yanks and all that, get out. That's enough abuse. It was in the COP, both Nixon Gillette. And they had a plane, didn't they, flying across it a few times. H&J out. And they didn't want any of that. So they fucking banned. They wanted to ban total banners. And their excuse, which was a fucking spin as usual, they got told to fuck off, was people behind the banners can't see the game. Fuck off. Must think that would fucking tick. Everything we hear is an opinion, says Simon, not a fact. Everything we see is perspective, not the truth. Marcus Aurelius. Great. Marcus Aurelius. Great emperor. There was 2 Marcus Aureliuses, you know. Marcus Aurelius, who you've just mentioned, wonderful man. Great, all he wanted was peace. And the other Marcus Aurelius had to change his name because they would be getting mixed up, especially the historians at the time. So he changed his name to Caracalla. Did you know that? And here in Liverpool, we've got St. George's Hall. And inside the hall is based on Emperor Caracalla's steam baths in Rome. Simon says, Frank, would you do a show and go through your personal heroes and villains? And what? I've done heroes and villains. Yeah, I would actually. I would. And there's some horrible villains. But you can update them. Villains you can always update. If you know what I mean. Like to modern day. What's going on today? This is eased off me. Frank, how come the Russian national team is banned from playing international football games and the Zionist Israel team is allowed to play games? Make that make sense? Even the Olympic, even, you know, the athletes, they're all banned. They're banned. It's fucking shocking. It's shocking, Steve. Adama. Hi, Frank. Take care. You'll never walk alone, 97. JFT, 97. Gone but not forgotten, 97. Yes. Certainly. Good night, Adama. Cheap broke FSG monitored these players before they became stars. Shumani, yes. Casino, Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, Nunes, Nuno Mendes, Yao Neves. I wanted that. Fucking hell. I wanted that Neves. When are FSG going to sign South American young talent? Exactly. Never stay. And on that wonderful note, football, see, we've been talking football all night. I'm going to finish because this is fucking killing me. I'll have to take a couple of painkillers. I don't like taking painkillers. Thank you so much for keeping me company. I know that we started off with this and ended up talking about everything else, from fucking Roman emperors to Ukraine. Me with me itchy nose. Frank, you need a cup of my tea. It tastes like diesel. It will sort your pain. It tastes like diesel. That tastes like diesel. It'll sort me pain out. What it will do, it'll kill me. That's how it'll sort me out. This fucking Reds. Night, Frank and everyone up the title winning Reds. Yes. So don't forget, I've got a history show tomorrow. I've got the current affairs on Friday. I'm all right. And the film and TV review on Saturday morning. So be all. Yeah, I wanted to see the boss and see who came on with him last night. Paul McCartney. His fucking voice is gone, hasn't it? Where's the mine? I said, I was bad. Johan. Take care, Frank. Have a good night. Hope the pain subsides. Brilliant stream as you think. Good night, legend, says Johan. That means you lot. Frank, Trump is a child predator. Epstein, best mate. There's it's horrible, isn't it? Horrible. I think Musk's done the wrong thing there, though, by naming him, Elon. I like Elon. I've got to go, boys. Thank you for keeping me company. Thanks to the wonderful Gap Painting Services for sponsoring the Frank Carlyle show. Fully time served, fully insured. Get them in if you're doing a job. Really get them in. They're great people. And discounts for the elderly and NHS workers. Great discounts. Get them in. And I think I'll sponsor painkillers. So it's just for me to say thank you for keeping me company. Hope to see some of these on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning. Thank you so much. Good night now. Good night. Ciao. Ci vediamo. Ciao, Ben.